Hi, stepmamas. How's everyone doing? Natalie here from Stepmom Strong Coaching. I'm so excited to be coming to you live. I was so inspired and excited to do this live. I came up with this idea and had this burst of inspiration. And so I wanted to share it with you all. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to wait a few minutes and see if anyone jumps on. If you're here, say hi. I'd love to hear you and where you're coming from. I always like to know where people are joining me from. So hope everyone's having a wonderful Monday. We're in our new house and I just got my office put together, so I'm pretty excited about that. Welcome everyone who's joining, and welcome to the new members of this free group of Stepmom Strong too. We've had a lot of new members recently. I'm really happy to have you. Again, if you don't know me, my name is Natalie Savell. I'm a stepmom coach at Stepmom Strong Coaching, where I help stepmoms go from overwhelm, resentment, confusion, and stress to confidence, clarity, and connection. Hello. Hi, Andy. Nice to see you. Hi, Angel. Hi, Mariah. Is that how you say your name? That's such an interesting spelling. From California. Awesome. Hi, Kara. Hi, Amanda. Nice to see you guys. Angel from Maryland. Awesome. Angel, are you going to make it to our gathering tonight in Towson? Are you close by Towson? It's so nice to have you all here. Thanks so much for showing up. I'm so excited for today. So I really want to share my heart with you guys today. I just was thinking about, so I was saying in one of my posts, I'm really close with my mom. We talk about a lot. Both my parents have been divorced 3 times. And the statistic right now is that there's a 60% divorce rate for second marriages, and it goes up to 71% if there's kids involved. So that's a pretty high percentage. That's up from 40% of first marriages, which also isn't great, obviously, but we're not really taught to have healthy relationships in this society, really. That's not something that they focus on in school. A lot of our parents haven't had healthy relationships. So it's really kind of a missing gap in our education and in how we grow up. And so when you add in kids and exes to the mix, you all know, it gets so complicated, right? So there's so many dynamics and so many factors that are involved that make it super challenging. So just so you guys know, I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to everyone. Yeah, Angel, come tonight. It's at 5:30 in Towson at 5:30. I just repeated that. I am going to be looking at notes today. I have some notes that I wrote down. So just so you guys know, I'm going to be glancing at my notes. And I also, if there's kids around, you might want to turn the volume down because I can be kind of loud and I can swear occasionally. So I just don't want to make that a tricky situation for your kids. So just be aware of that. Welcome, Laura. Welcome everyone who's here. Thanks for being here. Welcome again to this group. I'm so happy to have you guys be a part of it. There's been a lot of really big transformation in this group alone, in the free group, or from people who just watched my Telesummit Empowering Stepmoms series. So if you guys have had some super big shifts happen in your families or for yourself through the free group, just put a 1 in the comments. I'd love to just see yes, that's me. People are reading my emails. I get emails all the time. Your emails are so helpful. This has caused a major shift in my family. So it's really awesome, and I'm so honored, and it really feels it's just amazing to be able to talk to you guys and support you with this super challenging stuff that there's just not a lot of support out there for. So I want to talk today about an opportunity that's coming up, and then we're also going to get into the one thing that I wish my mom had done differently. I still wish she was doing it differently, okay? My mom has been divorced 3 times. 2 of those were during my childhood, obviously. The first one was when I was 9, and then again when I was in 7th grade, okay? So, and there's really only one thing that I wish that she had done differently, honestly. She thinks there's 100 things that she's done wrong, right? But she actually only did one thing that I think she could have done differently. And that is finding out what she doesn't know she doesn't know. So what am I talking about? We can only see certain things about ourselves, right? We can only see certain ways that we're playing into a dynamic that we're suffering from, okay? So how do we do that? We get support. We have someone reflect to us what we need to know that we're not taking responsibility for, that we can shift to create a change that will make us happier. So I'm hoping I'm making sense. It's really about getting support, increasing self-awareness, you guys, because we just can't see certain things. We have this tunnel vision and we only see things a certain way and we think we're right. And we can't see something unless we have someone reflecting back to us, oh, this is where you're missing information, or this is about you, not about your situation, or this is what you can actually do to be empowered where you're feeling like a victim, right? So this is really just about reflection and someone pointing out our crap to us, okay? And I get this all the time. I continually get support around people pointing out, basically just to have people point me out my shit when I'm like stuck in it and I'm not able to shift, okay? And to me, that is the most helpful thing you can do in life. And especially if you're in a complicated situation as you all are in, you cannot control what you can't control, but what you can control and take responsibility for is how you're playing into the dynamic that's hurting you. So you can't see that unless you have someone show you, because it's like we need a mirror, we need a reflection, right? So that's the number one thing that I think you can do to really get support. So look, I've seen a lot of you. I've talked to a lot of you recently. I see you in the group. I see a lot of you in pain every day. Hi, Mirna. Is it Mirna? Am I saying that right? Tell me if I'm not, but welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Nice to see you, Valerie. You know, a lot of you spend your days trying to do the best you can. You're trying to hold it together. Like most, if not all of you, you're here because you want to be the best stepmom you can be and you want to be the best person you can be, right? Put a 2 in the comments if you want to be the best you can be, if you're really dedicated and determined to be like a freaking awesome person in the world and an amazing stepmom, a good role model, and you spend your days like frustrated and you spend your days trying to hold it together and trying to make it seem like things are okay, and really inside you're getting more and more frustrated, you're getting more and more angry, you're walking on eggshells, you're not knowing what's right and wrong, you're afraid that people are going to react poorly no matter what you do, it feels like you can never win, you never know how your stepkids are going to react to you, right? I talk to a lot of you who are having that experience. Yeah, and I know you want better for yourselves, and I know you want better for your stepkids, right? And so not only that, but a lot of you also tell me that you have found the man you've been looking for all your lives. Like I talked to so many stepmoms who are like, I love this man so much. I just found him. He is amazing. I've been looking for the man of my dreams. I finally found him. I didn't think this would be so hard. I love him so much. I'm willing to do anything. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us. If you guys are with the man of your dreams and you will do anything and you're so determined to make it work, put a 3 in the comments section. I would love to see who that applies to. Hi, Fran. Nice to see you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you guys here. So, yeah, I'm talking about how people, they almost, and then, you know, they get into the step-parent life, they get into the blended family life, and they forget that they even love this person. They get so resentful, and they get so bogged down by all the complications and all the confusion and all the, like, mixing of emotions like guilt and anger and frustration and, you know, powerlessness, that they forget why they even love their partners. Yeah, they're like, oh my gosh, you know, I got together with him and now things are so hard that I don't even remember like why, you know, or I'm starting to not enjoy it, or the stepkids come over and I'm frustrated the whole time and then they leave and I'm frustrated for the rest of the week and my partner, and I can't even like feel respect for him anymore because I'm so disagreeing with how he's, how he's doing the parenting thing, or how he's relating to the ex, or how his kids are behaving, that it's turning me off of him, right? I hear that so often, and it's just devastating, and it doesn't have to be that way, you guys. Like, it really doesn't. But you can't see what you can't see unless you have a mirror showing you what you're trying to control that you can't control, and what you're having such a hard time holding on to. So a lot of you have spent your life and your marriage sacrificing everything, right? Taking care of everyone else, making sure everyone else is okay, making sure that the kids are okay, taking responsibility for that, making sure your husband's okay when the ex is being frustrating. Yeah, it's infuriating, right? Like, of course you guys are mad, like, because you're like, I love this man, I'll do anything, right? Like, okay, he's a parent, he's a single dad, like I need to help him, so I'm going to step in and like do all the things that I see are missing, right? And like she sucks, so I'm going to be better than her, and I'm going to make sure these kids have a good mom, right? And so there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on where people are just getting super bogged down in that and trying to take responsibility for things that aren't actually their responsibility and feeling like they need to control things that they can't actually control. And I noticed this recently. It's so funny because as women in our society, we're taught to control things. Like we're made to think that we need to have control over everything. And for moms, that's impossible. And for stepmoms, it's even less possible. Like it is in our face that we don't have control over so much, right? At least as moms, we can kind of like pretend like we do, you know? Especially if we have like more laid back kids, we're like, I totally have control, I'm awesome. But as stepmoms, we can't even pretend. Like there's no pretending. It is literally in our face that we don't have control. So what do we have control over? We have control over ourselves. We can take responsibility for where our inner children are coming out and running the show, right? Where we are being triggered into a wounded part of ourselves that's coming out and running the show and reacting, right? And you know, taking it out on our husbands and taking it out on the ex, taking it out on the kids sometimes. I was just talking to a stepmom last night who, you know, her stepdaughter has borderline personality disorder, she's pretty sure, which if you guys are not familiar, a lot of your exes have that and they're out of control and completely wackadoodle. And she's taking it on, right? Like she's frustrated all the time. She's mad all the time. And it's honestly, it's not about them. It's about her. It's about you guys. It's about you. It's about what's coming up for you and what you need to heal and how you need to be more accepting of reality as it is and like whatever is your stuff. And you can't see your stuff unless you get a mirror, right? So I want you guys to imagine this, okay? I want you to imagine that you have a container of a limited number of stepmoms. You all know each other. You know each other's pains and struggles. You all know the difficult parts. There's no judgment because everyone knows that it's hard. The ugly parts of us come out, right? We turn into the dreaded step monster. Like we all become like total bitches and we're like, where did this come from? I've been likable all my life and all of a sudden I'm like a complete bitch. Can anyone relate to that? If you can, put a 4 in the comments. The parts of you come out that you had no idea existed and you're acting in a way that doesn't feel like yourself. You feel like I've always been a good person. I've always been able to handle things. People like me. Like, why am I reacting in this crazy way, right? It happens so often. So if you can relate to that and you have seen yourself become this like step monster that doesn't feel like who you are, put a 4 in the comments. Yeah. It happens. It happens very easily. It is crazy how easily it happens. We get so triggered in this position with all the complexities and our feelings and how much we care and the pressures from society and the things we can't control and the ex we can't control and like having people in our lives that we wouldn't choose, right? Like we would never choose these exes to be in our lives, most of us. You know, they're not people that we would choose to be around. They're not the type of people that we, you know, they don't meet the standards that we have for ourselves. So imagine that everyone knows that this role is crazy, that you're in this container, this like very safe container of no judgment where everyone understands we get crazy about this sometimes, right? Like, and your deepest, darkest secrets are okay. They're not judged. Teaching middle school did it too. Yeah, teaching will do it. Although I talked to a lot of stepmoms who've been teachers for years and they're like, I've always been good with kids. I've never had any issues with any kids. All of a sudden I'm a stepmom and it is out of control and I'm frustrated all the time, right? Like it just brings out this whole nother animal in us. It's really intense. So yeah, you quit teaching. We can't quit stepmomming quite as easily as we can quit a job, right? So just imagine, everyone knows how crazy this role can make you. Everyone knows all the pressures, the exes, even the best person, like the best, most enlightened person can start to react in totally off the wall ways in this situation with all these complex dynamics. So imagine that you're in this container with all these stepmoms, you all get it. Like you all get it. You're not judged. You can share like how crazy you acted yesterday and everyone will be like, I know, that's so hard. I can totally understand. And you see each other regularly. You see each other face to face regularly. Every 2 weeks, there's a meeting and you see each other. And you get to come to the group whenever things are hard. You have an outlet to vent if you need to, or brainstorm if you need to. And when things seem totally overwhelming and you don't know what to do and you just want to cry or vent, you have a place to come, right? So just imagine the safety and the value in that. Imagine how good that would feel to have that kind of support. And then not only that, but you get support and you get input into what would be the most helpful, loving direction to take yourself. Like what in the midst of this complete overwhelm meltdown, like, oh my God, I was such a jerk, or, you know, I don't even know what to do. I'm so overwhelmed. Like, I can't believe my husband did that. I can't believe the stepkids are treating me that way. What do I do, right? You have input, you get feedback, you get a helpful, loving direction to take. Because that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in what is most helpful for you, that's going to work for you and your family, and what is most loving for you and everyone else involved. That's what I'm most interested in. I'm not interested in being right. I'm not interested in having my expectations met or yours. I'm not interested in making other people wrong. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in what is going to work for you and your family so that you can be the best version of yourself and not the worst, right? That's what I'm interested in, and that's the type of support that I like to give. So this is a big leap, okay? It's a big leap to you get validation, right? So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about the one thing that I wish my mom had done, which is get support, which is get feedback, which is, you know, invest in having a mirror held up to her so that she could see where she was out of responsibility. And my mom, she is someone who reads a ton. She reads a ton. She might go to therapy every once in a while, right? But this is a different thing that I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about is this group program that I'm offering, which is a 6-month investment. It's 6 months where you invest and you commit to being held responsible for what you can control and making steps in the most loving, helpful direction that you can take. And this is something that I wish that I had when I first became a stepmom. And this is something that I wish my mom had had. And the reason why I created this is because I feel so strongly that it's the number one thing you can do for yourself in this situation. There's so many complexities. It's not the same as reading, okay? It's not even the same as therapy, because therapy will take a year to get where you could get in a couple coaching calls. Coaching is like directive. It's almost, and this is the thing, like this group is only for people who are ready to accept feedback and are ready to implement changes. Like they're ready because they're seeing that this isn't working the way things are going, and they can't see what they can't see. They don't know what is next, what they can be doing differently, because it just seems like it doesn't make any sense and that the situation is just so horrible, there's nothing they can do, right? Like, and so this is what this group is for. And honestly, it is the number one thing that I wish my mom had done. I wish she would still do it. I wish she would still invest in something to work on the areas that she has to work on, right? I just think it's so powerful to do this. I've seen from my own experience. I've seen from the free group, the Telesummit, people get massive transformation just from the free content that I'm putting out there. So just imagine for yourselves for a moment what it would look like to get ongoing, contained, directive, structured support. Your transformation and the shifts that you've been able to make from the free stuff would skyrocket. Everything would happen faster. You would feel 100 times better in the process, because a lot of times this process feels really yucky and hard and sticky and weird. But if you had the ongoing support, you could come into a group whenever you wanted and feel safe and not judged and comfortable and get what you needed out of the group. That would be a game changer, you guys. Total game changer, okay? I know because I've done it for myself, for my own personal growth work. Okay, so when you have that space and you get stuck and you can come in and move through it right away, or just get love, right? Just get some love and support for having a hard time. That's a total game changer. There's forgiveness there. There's compassion. You might not yell at your husband. You might not yell at your stepkids. You might instead be able to come to a group and then be like, okay, I'm going to try again tomorrow, right? Like I'm going to try again next hour, whatever it is. I mean, I'm talking like really powerful stuff here, guys. So welcome to everyone who's just joining. Glad to see you. people have been commenting, we've been talking about the challenges of loving your husband so much and feeling like you don't because you're so stressed out and resentful. And the kids come and you're like resentful, you lose respect over how he is when the kids are there, and then they leave and you're like, you feel bad about him when they're gone too, and you don't enjoy yourselves when they're gone. And we're talking about the power of getting support and having mirror shown up to you and having the support and validation of a group, and you know, the purpose of moving forward in a loving direction. So this is what I'm seeing, that it is scary to make a commitment like 6 months. It is scary, okay? Because, you know what? Because a lot of you are not investing in yourselves at all. And the idea of investing in yourself is terrifying. Because what would your husband think if you actually took the time and money and energy and invested in yourself? Would he be mad? But then again, look at what you're doing. Like everything that you're doing and all the patterns that you're playing into are keeping you where you're at. So just making this one change that potentially he might be uncomfortable with could actually shift everything for you. Okay, because it's shifting the pattern that you're playing into of putting everyone else's needs first and sacrificing yourself, right? So imagine right now, what would the best version of yourself look like, guys? What would it look like? You can type in the comments if you want. Name like 3 sentences of every day, if you were in your life, in your same life, everyone else around you was the same, but you were the best version of yourself. You were the most, powerful version of yourself, the most empowered, the happiest version of yourself. You had support, you felt nurtured and alive. What would that look like every day? Like, how would you interact with your stepkids? How would you interact with your husband if you were that? If you were peaceful, if you were able to regulate your emotions, if you didn't get caught up in things that you couldn't control, if you were able to manage, like the ex had a big fit and you were just like, okay, that's who she is. Like, I'm going to just keep going about my day and not let that get to me. Like, imagine what that would look like. Who would you be and how would you be interacting in the world? How would this best version of yourself, how would she talk? How would she eat? How would she relate to other people in her family? Would it be a positive thing? And with this kind of support and accountability that I'm offering you guys, you might actually be able to put aside any excuse and start living into the best version of yourself. Because we all are so good at excuses, right? Like, I don't have time. It's too much money. My husband would be upset. I have this stuff coming up that I'm in therapy already. I don't need it. Or, we're so good at making excuses of why we can't actually commit to doing real work that might make us shift our beliefs, that might be uncomfortable, that might make us actually take responsibility for what's the hard things that we're not taking responsibility for. And then we wouldn't be able to make everyone else wrong. We wouldn't be able to be the victim anymore. We wouldn't be able to, some of us are addicted to drama. Like we came from complex family situations and we like complexity, right? So what if things were simpler for you? What if you just were very clear? So I want to, just play around with that idea. Like, what would it look like to be totally clear, confident, to be able to let go of things when they came up, to be able to enjoy your relationship that you deserve to enjoy. You and your partner deserve to enjoy your relationship. It's not right or fair that just because the kids are challenging, you guys aren't having a good time. You should be having a good time, okay? You guys have, some of you have waited a long time to find the right partner and you found him, and now all this extra junk is getting in the way of you enjoying each other, and it's just not right. You deserve to be happy and be well and live your best life. Like, everyone deserves that. I really think that. So I want to ask you guys, are you ready? Are you ready to take a big leap? Are you ready to get uncomfortable? Are you scared of discomfort? Are you scared of taking a stand for yourself? Are you scared of standing up to your husbands and saying, look, I need to do these things to take care of myself, to be a better version of myself, to show up the way I want to for you and the kids? Like, is that scary to you? If that's scary to you, take a 1, put a 1 in the comments. If it scares you to present your husband with something that might, cause some sacrifice on his part, right? Cause some sacrifice on his part and on the kids' part to help you be a better version of yourself. If that's scary, put a 1 in the comments. So, and I'll tell you, I've been really scared in the past to take a stand for myself, okay? I've been scared of taking a stand for you guys to really step into the best version of yourself, but I'm not gonna do that any longer. Like, I really believe in each of you. I think you're here for a reason. I think you found me for a reason. I think I've come into your lives for a reason. I've seen the transformation and changes that have taken place. And I feel like I know you guys. I see you. I believe in you. I know what's possible for you. I get on the phones with you guys and I hear your pain and I see what's possible. It's kind of a gift of mine. I've been a therapist for 8 years now. I was in support services before that. And something that I'm gifted with is seeing the best in people. Like, I see what's possible for people, and it's why I do the work that I do, right? And I think I've always been like that, and I finally, like, in the past, through 8 years of working with people, have seen that it's such a calling for me. And so, because I was also stuck in the trenches of being a stepmom and like a horrible version of myself, like you guys should have seen me. It was a total mess. My friends from college saw me on vacation once and they were like, "Who are you?" Literally, I wasn't even questioning myself. They were questioning me. Like, "Who are you, Natalie? This is not you. What is going on?" And I was like, "I've become a monster," So and I've been scared of taking a stand for myself in the past. Okay, so what am I saying? I lost track of what I was saying. I got carried away with the fantasies of my stress, like horrible nightmare vacation that I took with my friends from college the first year I was a stepmom. It was such a wreck. But so I've been there. And so I know your guys' pain. Like, I know it. I see it and I get it. And it's fucking hard, right? And then I see what's possible for you and I see what it would take to get there. Like, I see all the steps along the way because I've made them, and I've seen other stepmoms have transformations by taking these steps, and I've seen other people have transformations by taking these steps. So I see the little baby steps and the trail and the path that needs to be taken in order for you to get to what's possible, which is being the best version of yourself, which is what I want for everyone and I want for myself. I'm so passionate and dedicated to that, right? Like, I was determined to do that in my own life. Once I saw what I'd become and who I was being, I was like, no way, this is not going to work. So I did what it took. I did what it took to get myself to a place where I was the best version of myself. And now my life is amazing. Like, I have so much. I've been able to create whatever I want in my life. I have an amazing relationship. It's not perfect. We still have work to do. Always. But I'm also a therapist, so I always think there's work to do. But at the same time, like, it's in a place where I never could have imagined, where we are today 5 years ago, ever, right? So I talk to stepmoms, and some of you say, "Oh, I need to talk to my husband before signing up for a program like yours." And I hear that. And of course you want to work with them, right? You guys are doing your finances together. You guys are creating a life together. Like, it's important to be on the same page. And I would love to present to you guys the idea of taking on the possibility that you taking a stand for yourself and investing in yourself is going to change your dynamic automatically. I see it all the time. People say yes, things start to change because they're breaking the pattern, right? So your husband is not going to prioritize your needs if you don't. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. Your husband and your stepkids and your kids are not going to prioritize your needs if you don't prioritize your needs and taking care of yourself and getting the support that you need. They're not going to. They're not going to say, "Oh, you should really go take a bath." I mean, most likely they're not. Maybe some of them will every now and then, right? But in general, just like as how you hold yourself and the respect that you have for yourself is the respect that other people are going to give you. And the time that you take for yourself and the investment in yourself is how they're going to change how they perceive you, right? And then you're going to be a positive example for them. Like, it will up-level your entire energy of your entire household if you take the time, energy, finances to invest in yourself and invest in bettering yourself and handling the situation better than how you're handling it now, right? Can you see that? Can you guys see that? Do you get what I'm saying? So even if your husband might be disappointed, frustrated, maybe even mad to start out with, once he sees the changes that happen in you, he's going to be grateful. He's going to respect you more. He'll reflect on himself more because you're being an example for him. He will be a better partner, a better parent. Guys, I've seen it. That's how I know. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen it with myself. I've seen it with my stepmoms. I've seen it with my therapy clients who things start to shift. Once you start to shift the energy that you're carrying in the house and the patterns that you take on and the way that you're being, everything starts to shift. So the program looks like this. Every 2 weeks, you have a structured hour and 15 minutes where you take time for yourself to get yourself heard. You'll excuse yourself from whatever is going on in your life to take the time for yourself to be heard, to feel supported, to be understood, and to get feedback to make helpful, loving changes, okay? Your family will notice that. Your daughters and your stepdaughters will notice, okay? You'll be modeling self-respect and self-care. And that is how kids learn to respect themselves. So if you want to do the best thing for your families, take better care of yourselves. It's not by adults telling you, honey, you need to respect yourself. It's by adults respecting themselves. Kids' inner dialogue is created and their ideas about themselves is created by how to think about your parents. Think about your mom. How did she treat her own body? How did she talk about herself? How did she present herself? And tell me if you know, I'd love to hear, put a 1 in the comments if you could see patterns that she created, not in what she said to you, but in how she related to herself, right? That's the most powerful stuff. My mom didn't realize that, okay? That was the one thing that was missing. She told me, love yourself. She told me, you're so beautiful. She told me, you know, you need to take care of yourself. But she didn't buy clothes for herself when I was a kid. She wouldn't show her body. Like when she got undressed, she was like embarrassed of her body. She was always talking about how fat she was. So what do you think I learned? I didn't learn I was beautiful and capable and worthy. I learned that I was not good enough, the way that she thought about herself, right? So the energy that you bring and how you relate to yourself is what makes the biggest difference for your kids. So they don't learn it intellectually, is what I'm saying. They learn it energetically. I'm looking at my notes, so excuse me, because I wanted to make sure that I had some points, some points that really I wanted to be sure to have. So I am looking at my notes. So tell me, if your daughter or your stepdaughter was struggling, which probably a lot of them are, and they wanted to do something for themselves, and it required a big investment of time, energy, finances, but they knew and you could see that it would be to their best benefit and that it would support them and the entire household because they would be better for it and then everyone else would be better for it. Would you want them to do it? Like, would you do whatever it took for them to do it? Would you? Even if your husband might be against it, but maybe he said, okay, or maybe, you know, like, would you do it? Would you do that for them? Would you pull it together? Would you talk your husband into it? Would you say, hey, I can see how this would be amazing for her. Like, let's just do what we have to do to make it happen, right? Would you do that for your stepdaughter or your daughter? I would bet that you would. You guys are all such caring people. Like, what if you invested that care into yourself? Or would you hesitate and make sure that their dad had to be 100% on board and you wouldn't really pull any strings for it? You kind of just be like, oh, I can see how this would be beneficial. And yeah, like she probably would be like, you know, 100 times better or whatever, but I'm just going to let it go. I'm not really going to push for it. I'm not going to work that hard to make it happen, even though it's within my power. You know, would you hesitate for your stepdaughters or your daughters? My bet is that you wouldn't. My bet is that you would do whatever it took. So how hard are you willing to push for yourself, ladies? That's what I want to ask you today. And I always say, I stand by that the reason that I'm in this position as a mental health therapist and as a stepmom coach is partly selfish, okay? It's partly to heal my own wounds, all right? I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I wish my mom and dad had done their own personal growth work before getting divorced. Okay, I recreated this situation where we had to work our butts off in order to stay together, like to heal my own wounds. I'm so sure of it. And I wish my parents' second marriages had had more support so they wouldn't have to go through another set of divorces that it was even more damaging for me. The second divorces were even more damaging, okay? Because I was older, I had more awareness. I bonded in a way with my stepdad I hated, you know, but I wish they'd all had more support to handle the complications. I wish they'd done their own work, you know? I wish they hadn't let their crap get in the way of them being able to be in good relationships and to be able to do their best for us, you know? I think kids are reason enough to do your personal growth work. I wish that they'd been willing to get uncomfortable and do the dirty work of becoming more self-aware so that they could be the parents that I needed them to be, including my step-parents. They didn't do that. They ended up in divorce. I lost 2 step-parents, okay? And they didn't do their work, okay? And yes, I also want to leverage my time and money. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be real. I do. You know, I've had a buttload of training. I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars growing and learning and training and doing my own work. And it's because I believe in this stuff. I really believe in the value of it. I believe in the power of transformation. I believe in the power of investing in your own personal growth work and what that can do for you. I'm like super, you know, convicted around it. And I created every aspect of this group program because it's what I would have wanted, okay? And it's what I see as the most powerful type of support that you can get. I think it's the most powerful. It's taken me, you know, a lot of my own money, time, resources, training, sacrificing, obsessing to get where I am and to be able to support people in the way that I do. And it's the energy that I spend supporting others to make sure that I'm at my best, right? So that I can keep doing this, so that I can keep doing the free stuff, so that I can keep, you know, putting it out there and keep being my best for other people. I have to, right? Like at this point, I absolutely have to. So I have to be well-resourced. Like I have to have my own support people. I go see a healer, you know, once a month, and I see a chiropractor once a week, and I have a coach that I work with that I'm, you know, set up in the similar type of program that I'm offering you guys. So, you know, I'm giving you all my best, and it's the energy. Like the money investment is the energy investment, right? Like money is just a type of energy that comes back and forth. And I have to feel like I'm getting the energy back that I'm putting out there and then I'm putting into myself so that I can show up for you guys. So I want you all to consider that. I want you to consider the idea of this group program. And if you're into it and you're ready and you're like, yes, this sounds amazing. I'm so ready. Like I want to get uncomfortable and I want to just freaking do this so that I can make the changes that I want to make, then I want to invite you guys to get on the phone with me and have a conversation about this, okay? Because I can help you and support you to know if this is right for you and if this really is a step that is worth taking for you, okay? And if you're in a financial situation where you can't, you know, afford your house and you can't afford food, then, you know, and maybe, I don't know, there's some extenuating circumstances where it's totally understandable. Like I will be like, no, this is not the program for you, right? Or if you're on the verge of divorce and you're not ready to really make changes to stay with your partner, then know it, right? But you guys aren't going to know unless you get on the phone with me. So there's my link. The Talk with Me, Talk with Natalie, Stepmom Solutions. This is a phone conversation about this group. It's about making actual changes, you guys. It's about getting the support that you actually deserve so that you can be the best version of yourself for you and your family. This is not a game. This is serious transformation, okay? This is deciding to show up as the mature version of yourself rather than the wounded child, and getting the support and the accountability, you guys, and the reflection to know when you're not doing that and to get back on track and to do so gracefully, right? Like more gracefully than how you've been doing it, right? Or you wouldn't be here. More gracefully than how the books explain. Like the books don't talk about what you specifically need to be doing. The books, you know, some of them give a really good framework, but like they don't know your personality. They don't know your family situation. So some of the stuff that they say just doesn't apply to you. And even my free stuff, like if it's been helpful, imagine what you can do. Imagine what is possible for you if you actually invest. So there's my link. Jump on there. There's a very limited number of slots. I might open up a few more. But there is a limited number of slots. So I want you guys to get on there if you're ready to seriously make some changes and do the stuff that you need to do to make this work and enjoy yourself and come back to yourself and enjoy your relationships again. You're worth it. Your family is worth it, you guys. So I hope you will consider that. Put a 1 in the comments if this has been helpful. Stay in touch. Tell me how this video was for you. I would love to hear. This is something, you know, that's really speaking my heart and getting vulnerable with you guys. So it really helps me to get feedback and to hear, you know, what this is like for you guys. And if you're just joining at the end, watch the replay. I'll post the replay in the group. And keep in touch, y'all. You guys are amazing. You are doing incredible, incredible stuff. Thank you so much for being here, and stay in touch, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.